with John Romero kicking so much ass and making my Christmas, I thought it'd be a really cool idea to cut out the Doom parody I did in one of my Christmas specials. I was thinking about it, and I was like, what about all these new subscribers? There's a whole shitload of you, right? So it's like I haven't done these in 3 years, so you may be going through my videos and go back through and see these holiday specials and be like, holiday specials? Well, it's the holidays. It's like, oh, Christmas special. Let's see what he did then. They're basically the most pathetic sketch comedy ever out there. Now the writing was good according to some people, and the idea is just the budget was really low. Now I thought it'd be a really cool idea to pay homage to all the people who were in them, seeing as how Leon died last year. He OD'd on fentanyl, unfortunately. I thought it'd be a really good idea to pay homage to him, to Riz, to my little brother, the people who were involved in these, and do basically a review of all of them and lay out which ones suck dog shit and which ones don't. So that in case you do go digging on Christmas and you're like, oh hey, this random weird guy who has his opinions or whatever, he made comedy specials or he made a holiday special. It's like for you to know what they are, right? Because they ended in 2020. When I first, well, for years I tried to make my own sketch comedy. I love Kids in the Hall, Saturday Night Live, In Living Color, Bizarre, Mad TV, Monty Python, all that stuff. Sketch comedy is like my MO. I love it to death. I always have. So I wanted to make that for a long time. And I tried for years. When I was in Moncton, I tried to get a crew together. When I was in college and tried to make sketch comedy. That didn't work. When I was back home a few years before I moved, I tried to make sketch comedy. And there is videos that exist. I had this show idea, which was completely different, where I had, like, each episode had this impossible question. Like, I went through King's Place, which is a downtown, like, bus depot kind of downtown mall kind of thing. Has a food court and a dollar store and a Shoppers and this kind of thing. And I walked through there and asked random people to give me their opinion why sex should be illegal. Yeah, these just ridiculous questions. Another one was why should smoking be mandatory and this kind of thing. But that never panned out. Anyways, moving here, I moved here Canada Day 2015. So at Christmas 2016, I hadn't been home in a while and missed that Christmas and that kind of thing from home. So I thought it'd be a really cool idea being around my little brother, who is like me. He's a bit of a smartass. I thought it'd be a really cool idea if we made a Christmas special and sketch comedy concept, because he likes humor and stuff too. Well, he did. I don't know. I haven't seen him in 5 years. He lives in the same city, by the way. Apparently, the last I heard, he lived down the street from me. And yeah, I haven't heard from him in 5 years, so it's like, okay then. Anyways, right. So I had these ideas and I wrote them down. I wrote out these skits, and then we did them. So the main idea or crux of it was that I was going to make a show along with my brother, but he wasn't into continuing doing them all the time. I didn't want to make them holiday specials. I just wanted to make a show. And I was going to call it I'm Was Stupid. And I was going to have all the cast members that I was going to gather up and trying to look for, and they were going to be wearing shirts that say I'm Was Stupid, and they all pointed towards me, and I was going to have a shirt that said I'm stupid. Then, of course, the world got all offended by Trump and all the other nonsense, and everything else came in, so humor got destroyed, and it's like, oh, for fuck's sakes. And it's like, so the idea changed. Now, after the first one, I wasn't going to do another one, because it's like people liked it and it was cool, but Randy Johnson, who is a really good friend of my dad's and a good friend of mine, like I haven't seen him in years and stuff, but he was the bass player in Outlaw, which was the band with Jerry McCarty and Dad. Randy's a really fucking good guy, like solid fucking great guy. So he had said to Dad that he found it hilarious. He watched it with his dad, and his dad's like older and stuff, because Randy's like Dad's age or around there kind of thing, and so they laughed their head off, and his dad had said I should be on CBC, and that made me laugh really hard, and I was like, okay then. So I thought about it, and it came up to Halloween, which is Dad's birthday. My birthday's the 27th of October, so it's like 4 days before. 2 days after, the day in between, is the 29th of October, which is my favorite day of the year, because when I was a kid, Halloween's always been my favorite holiday, And I thought to myself, I didn't make a Halloween special of any kind, so let's try. The first Halloween special is garbage. Do not touch that. Enter at your own risk, because that is a terrible fucking video. I made that in a day. I wrote it, I filmed it, and edited it in one day. It is terrible. It is absolute garbage. Oh my god. And by myself, too. I had my friend named Secret. Well, his name's Secret in the video. And his name's Secret in the video. And he actually, when I was coming up with my name for my cat, that was one of the ideas to name him. I came up with Pause, P-A-U-S-E. Like as in pausing a video game, right? Because that's a non-common term you don't hear anymore. It's like pause the game or pause the movie kind of thing. You just don't hear that very often. So I thought it was neat. Not because he has pause or P-A-W-S, not to be cutesy or anything. But anyways, I still talk to John, and John's still a great guy, and that's his name. And he's a great guy. The other guy in that video, he stole Tales of Berseria, Nier Automata, and Estivus Festival, or whatever the hell that's called, the Sega Kagura game, and Final Fantasy Type 0, which I was playing, which I was actually fond of. And supposed to be a friend of mine. I used to hang out at the mall. He worked at the mall. He showed up in EB Games one day. We started talking about video games. He was recommending old ones and stuff. So it was like, cool, made a friend out here kind of thing, right? And it's like, but not really. And no, that's a dick move to do that. So anyways, he appears in the video. He's the guy who's not Secret if you actually watch it. He's the one who reviews the skit inside the skit. Fuck, that's a bad film. Anyways, I did my best, and then I threw it out there, right, in one day. And I had planned on both of them being in the Christmas special, and I kept looking for more and more people to be in these to make them better, because it's like, can't really make them better if it's just you and your brother, right? So the bartender, his name was Kurt. Well, his name's probably still Kurt, but he's not the bartender anymore. But he's a good friend as well, and he's popped in. I've seen him throughout the years and stuff, but he hasn't worked here in like since 2017 or 2018 or something. Anyways, he last minute had to bail because he had to work. He worked 2 jobs as a bartender. He had something that came up. I can't remember, but legit, he was sore. You could tell. Like, he felt bad and stuff. He was there in person to tell me. Same happened to John. And the other guy just was like, no, I'm busy or whatever. And it's like, and John was like, man, I got this last minute thing that came up. I'm sorry. And I was like, well, fuck, what do I do for the second Christmas special, right? Don't want to let Randy down. Don't want to let Dad down. Don't want to let the other people who enjoy these down. So it's like, what do I do? And it's like, so thankfully, I came and asked the person that I refer to as Riz Poli in the videos. That's his name. And that was a rule in my videos, is you had to create your own name. You always had to have your own, like, persona that you used. Tix McTibby, of course, is mine. My brother's was to be announced, because he couldn't come up with it. So we were sitting there, and it's like, and I was like, what about Toby Announced? And we both started laughing, so that's what became his name. Riz Poli was the guy who was in most of the films. And I came to him last minute because everybody bailed. And he's like, yeah, I'll help you. I'll do what I can, kind of thing. And I was like, fuck yeah. So most of the skits in the 2017 Christmas special were written to have more people in them. Hence why the cat plays some of the parts. Hence why it's dog shit. I mean, I tried, right? And same with Riz. Like, we did everything we could within, I think it was a few days we worked on that. And it just did not turn out. That's why it's only 19 minutes long. Because it's supposed to be 24 minutes. It was supposed to be the syndicated TV concept. Give me a sec here. So, how far are we in? Yeah, we still got some time. So it's supposed to be 24 minutes. This syndicated concept where it's like, it could have ran on TV back in the day. Right? So it's supposed to be like that. At the same time, everybody's doing TikTok and Vines and all this nonsense. And I'm like, I'm not watching any of that. No, I don't have ADD. I have an attention span. And you can keep it there. You just kind of have to make the video more than 5 minutes for me to actually get in there. Unless it's just something to tell me quick information or whatever. But, so I was kind of gung-ho on this to make it like a TV show. So the 19 minutes, what was supposed to happen, which I do have footage of this that never made it in, was I was making an advertisement for the return to Reeferland. which was a sequel series, like a continuing of the old Reefer Man series I'd done years and years back. So that didn't pan out. I had this big like to do with that. Oh my god, it would have been amazing. But you needed more people. Like I had this giant puppet I created, and you needed someone in the top of it. And I had a cart that I drug in my house, like this giant metal cart. And I mean, I lived in the basement, so I mean, I pulled this thing in by myself, created this whole puppet that was going to have arms and everything, and like the eyes were to be open and closed, the mouth, everything, and someone would have to be on top to puppeteer it there, and then someone would have to be on the bottom. It wasn't going to happen. I mean, if you watched that and you enjoyed it, which people did, they went on about it, and after it was done, it was like, well, I liked it, and blah, blah, blah. I hated it. I was so fucking mad and disappointed in it, because it just was nothing like what I wanted, and did what I could, right? So moving on into 2018, I was gung-ho to make better ones, and I wasn't going to fuck them up that year. So the 2018 specials are premium. They're the best that came out of it. I put $300 into each of those, and I knew it was going to be me and Riz the whole time. So we had planned these out, and planned these out well. So you had the Halloween ones. I started working on the Halloween one and the Christmas one in August, and I worked on them for all those months, and finally, like, it was just last minute with both of them to get them out and get them finished. So I mean, if you're looking for anything of those to watch, it's the 2018 ones, hands down, which would be the third Christmas special and the second Halloween special. Those are hands down the best videos I made. They do have other people in them than just me and Riz, and like I was gung-ho to do it then. So at the end of the 2018 Christmas special, there's a song. My apologies. I intended it to just be a parody, and I sat there and I wrote it and everything and this kind of thing. And I mean, like, hopefully you enjoy it, if you did or whatever. Hopefully it wasn't that bad. Coming into 2019, there was a new bartender. She was a girl, and there was this whole leading me on for a long time, and this whole bullshit of her leaving me off as this side guy and this kind of bullshit. With it was fucked, and she's fucked. Anyways, and unfortunately, she's gone the way of the murder weapons. No, she didn't become a drug addict. If you do meth or you do fentanyl, you're not a drug addict. You're trying to kill yourself. Like, if you're out there and you do a bit of shrooms, not 20 grams, Daniel. Jesus fucking Christ. Not at once anyway, you idiot. Anyways, if you do drugs like that, or coke or heroin or something like that, you're a drug addict. Yeah, you're addicted to drugs. I mean, I'm a drug addict because I smoke cigarettes continuously, right? And drink coffee all the time. I can't stop. But if you're addicted to a drug, then you're a drug addict. Meth and fentanyl are not drugs. They're fucking murder weapons. And she apparently lost her mind on meth and stuff because somebody's seen her since then. Anyways, she was supposed to become part of this, and she was supposed to be in there, and she was quite silly. So I was like, I'm down. It's like, yeah, I want you in there. I want as many people as I can get, right? So anyways, fucking, that didn't really pan out. So the Halloween special comes up that year in 2019. Oh, no, sorry. In 2019, I was gung-ho to make more of them. So I made a Valentine's Day special. Talk about having humility. That Valentine's Day special. I mean, enjoy it if you can, kind of thing, but that was bare bones. We did what we could. There's a good 5 minutes in there, the whole intermission concept. I think I got Riz laughing harder than he's ever laughed in his life. And he's just fucking gut laughing. If you watch the outtake special, he's just in fucking tears. He's laughing so hard at one point. He's like, this is so fucking ridiculous. Anyways, yeah, I love that. That was my favorite part, is seeing how much he enjoyed it and how hard he was laughing. And the squib, as he called it. I wouldn't have known how to do that without him. The bleeding and shit. He's the one who did all that. He's the one who, any practical effects or anything we did, it was his idea. Like he was the one who helped me with all that shit. So it's like he was extremely, like, whatever the term is, like, without him it couldn't have been done. I think it's invaluable or something. Like, without him, like, it wouldn't have happened. So I mean, and I liked it. I thought it was pretty funny. The sock at the door thing. I love that. That's one of my favorite jokes I've ever made in my entire life. And it's like, it's just so ridiculous on top of the intermission thing. So we come into the Easter one. And the Easter one was bad. It's just a bad special. It's just the main crux of it is the $6 million Jesus, that we can build a better God and all this kind of thing. And I don't know how to do animation, like on a computer. I just don't, right? Like I never learned that aspect of things. I learned Photoshop and a bit of Dreamweaver, studied C++ and some other things, right? Illustrator, but I don't really know how to use After Effects enough to be able to do this. So in the Easter special, there's text that comes up on the screen, just like in the $6 Million Man show, where it's like, there's a man, blah, 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 and it comes up in blue. I literally animated that the old-fashioned way, like each frame by frame. That's how I did that. Because I didn't know what I was doing, right? So there's some stuff about it that's entertaining, but for the most part, it's quite ridiculous. So we come into the Halloween special. And I mean, I don't mind that Halloween special. And I did intend on making a Count Catula thing for kids. I did intend on going in further detail with that and using Paws as Count Catula and this kind of thing. It just never panned out. Then we get into the Christmas special. Now, the Christmas special has a Doom parody, because that was the 25th anniversary of Doom. And I love Doom to death. And I remember Pat, the NES punk, going on after this, and other people went on after this. And it's like, the reason I made it is because I love Doom to death. I love that game. So it's like, I didn't hear anybody going on about it. So it was like, until after the fact and stuff. But it's like, that was why I put it in there, because I love Doom, right? So, I mean, it's not great. We did want to have the graphics at the bottom, but we didn't have time. So it's just like, it was a lot of work. Like, a lot of that stuff just didn't get to be the way I wanted it to be, because of time constraints and things like that. And also, the female had dicked me around pretty hard at that Halloween. And that song that appears in the end of that 2019 Christmas special, I'm fucking sorry. I'm really sorry. That's extremely inappropriate and terrible. And it's a complete allegory. 100% an allegory for her. Yeah, and just the situation. So my apologies if anybody thought I was like fucked afterwards. I didn't mean to make y'all fucked. I was just so mad and so pissed off, right? And of course, you got to remember, in 2019, the Bruins lost in the finals to St. Louis. Hey, my cousin Brandon liked it, but I was cheering for the Bruins all the way. And I'm a Bruins fan, right? I may wear this, right? Calgary is my favorite Canadian team. Yeah, I live in Calgary. I love this fucking city. So it's like, but Boston I cheer for more than any team except for Dad's team. I'll always cheer for Dad more than anything, and that's why I cheer the Blackhawks over anybody, because that's Dad's favorite team. So if they win, he's happy. So it's like, and I love my dad, right? So it's like, but the Bruins I cheer for in a heartbeat, because they hate the Habs, and I hate the Habs. So, and our enemy of your enemy is your friend concept. And when Eric Lindros started playing on Dallas, it's like, and then Dallas fucks over Mike Modano. It's like, I'm out. Right? So I had to pick a new team to cheer for, and I always liked Boston. So I was like, okay. It's like, yeah, they hate the Habs. Why not? So anyways, yeah, not to get lost in hockey, but Game of Thrones was ruined. I know it's taboo to bring up, but fucking love that show. They ruined that, and you ruined Endgame. Like, that was a bad fucking year. People went on about 2020 being a bad year. It's like, fuck off. 2020 had Seven's remake and Night Network. Yeah, the Crib's first decent fucking album that's actually music. That's not this punky kind of shit. Like, that album's fucking amazing. That's a decent rock album for anybody to get into. And it's like, and that would lead you to get into their other albums, like Men's Needs, Women's Needs, or Ignore the Ignorant, or all the other albums I love by them, right? So it's just, no, I enjoyed 2020 a hell of a lot more. So, anyways, also in the 2019 Christmas special is the only skit that I didn't come up with, which I did write it, but it was Leon's idea, which is the Die Hard skit. So, of course, running out of time here. But the Die Hard skit was his idea. Unfortunately, he's passed now because fucking fentanyl. But anyways, okay. It was okay. I do get a copyright strike for the Rocky song, and they could fuck off. I'm not taking it out of there. Or the Bill Conti song, I should say. But anyways, it was okay. So the 2019 ones aren't that bad, except for the Easter one, if you want to get into them, right? And that fucking ending song of fucking the Christmas one, just take it with a pound of fucking salt, like, or whatever, right? Because I was really pissed off at her and the entire year and all the things, and I kind of was losing my mind. Coming into 2020, I wanted to make another Valentine's Day special, so I was going to. And my intentions were always to do one every month. I was going to do a Canada Day one. I was going to do like the outtake specials were created in January to fill January up because it doesn't have a thing. So those ones, I mean, watch them if you want, right? But they're basically just outtakes from the other ones and stuff, and just silly things that I could fill in there of stupid shit that happened during what we were doing and stuff. But the Valentine's Day special, that's the video I made. That's the Rip Opham Dab kind of thing, because his name was Opham Dab, which is Bad Mofo backwards, which was the name he picked. And everybody got to pick their name, and that was the whole thing. So, yeah, it never became a thing because I started drinking at the beginning of 2020, and I also started smoking weed again and kind of lost my fucking mind a bit and went not crazy until 2021, but the only video that appeared that year was the Halloween special, which was the end of the whole thing. And with that idea, I have to let somebody know, or at least have this recorded somewhere. That was created in 7 days. That was from the 24th of October to Halloween. It was created by me pretty much the whole time, the entire week. I got 8 hours sleep that week, which I believe led to me going crazy for a few years and stuff. I paid a kid $50 to film for me for 2 days, and Leon showed up on Thursday and Friday to help, just for a couple hours at the end of the night after he was done work. And also, Leon never met Riz, by the way. They've never met in real life. Yeah, I know they have that scene in the Die Hard thing where they go back and forth. Yeah, I edited that. They've never met each other. So, of course, he only showed up at the end. And the gingerbread Nazi was in there for Wednesday, and we had 5 hours to work with, and he's in there for 3 seconds. That's it. He's the guy with the red mask holding his hand and like laying there after his hand gets bit off. Yeah. The whole film, and most of those characters are me. I'm playing those characters. I put on a different mask, I put on a different persona, the idea to play the whole thing out. I mean, I love it to death for what it was and afterwards, but at the time, I was so fucking disappointed when I finished that. Oh my god. And that kind of crushed me. The Christmas special wasn't going to happen because, of course, I didn't have it in me anymore, and that was kind of like the end of the series, the ending of that. And that thing is a giant homage to horror movies, because I love horror movies. There's tons of references to, like, Norman Bates, Poltergeist, It, fucking Halloween, Evil Dead, everything. It references basically all these movies at some point. And my friend Daniel, who lost his mind on shrooms and became a religious Nazi, like psychopath about it, not a normal religious person, right? Like not somebody who's going to actually be a good ambassador to people who need religion. No, he's going to chase them the hell away from it. I'm not religious, by the way. I feel like if you need it, then you should need it. You should be human too. You're Canadian, right? North American or whatever, where you get to believe what you want because all of the soldiers that fucking died for you. Anyways, so you shouldn't push your beliefs at people, but yeah, he watched it, and he watched it a couple of times, and he comments that it isn't that bad. It's not as bad as it actually is, basically. It's like you did what you could kind of thing, and he caught the references in there and this kind of thing, but I really wished I could have done more. I really wish I had more to work with. As my friend Brett said, he said with a big budget, he's like, and other people, like if you actually were the person running the thing and decided what it was and the idea, he said that would have been fucking amazing. He's like, but on your own without any money and without any ability to do it, he's like, you did your best kind of thing, right? But yeah, I hope you take a look at them if you want, and I hope if you do, and I hopefully you don't think ill of me for some of them, because they're, especially that fucking reindeer meat song. Oh my god. And it was 100%